Hello, everybody. Here's what we'll do. I received an email from one of my students asking really good question. And this is the question actually people ask the most. Hear what he says. So I'm taking very serious about becoming an independent dispatcher. I learned in your course, I create a company. Well, congratulations, creating your company. He already created his website, opened a load board account. I don't know which one. I'm assuming maybe it's one of the DAT solutions load boards, maybe it's DAT Power, maybe it's a Trucker's Edge. Your recommendation, and I even started promoting my business. Well, I would love to learn more about how you are promoting your business. Finally, I found customers. I think he's saying is that he found 2 customers. I think he lost. I don't know where to start with them. Well, it's really common. What's the process? That's number one question. What's the process? I think starting with them, that's where he lost. What are the questions? I think he's looking for questions to ask carriers. But I was thinking, like, he found, customers, like how you found them. Like, you asked some questions already that they are your customers, right? So what are the questions? Maybe he's asking like more in detail questions to working with them. Like, what do I need from them before I load their trucks? Like, he's basically saying, what should I do before start dispatching or offering my services to these carriers? And he thanks in advance. Well, what we are missing is that, so I'll stop this sharing and then I will share another screen that we can draw. So this is where we are missing. The missing process is the onboarding process. So think about this way. You have these carriers that they're willing to work with you. So it's like, this is a business. It could be any business, right? So we need this onboarding process. So here's the dispatcher. We have to think about that carrier site or the owner operator or the business itself, we can say. So it's up and running business. It's already up and running. So you're offering your services. We have to focus over here, which is your company, your business. Is your company ready to accept customers? Like, what are the onboarding process? I give Walmart that there is some onboarding process for employees. Think about this. You are looking for a job and you go there to Walmart and then you said, hey, I would love to work with you guys. And then I need to know the process, right? You need a process. Then this guy that you're talking to, maybe he's in like store manager or maybe a supervisor. What he does is that he says, hey, you have to go to HR department, which is a human resource department. When you go there, somebody will be there, will be helping you. And then you go inside the HR department and then you find a person. And then she says, okay, or he or she, doesn't matter. And then that person says, okay, so here's the thing. Here is an application. First, you have to fill it out, right? And then give us like maybe 2 to 3 weeks and then we'll go over your application and then we'll call you. That's what happens. Well, then you fill it out the application and then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, what they do, they call you, they accept or they decline your application. Let's assume that they accept your application. What happens is that then the next step, it will be interview process, right? That will be the third step. Then they will schedule an interview, let's say for next week, Monday, you come over, talk to again this guy or for the interviewer or I don't know, any person, maybe store, the manager, store department or something. I don't know, the person. So you're talking to a person and then he asks a bunch of questions. So he's interviewing you. So think it's if maybe you're a right, fit, if maybe not. So that interview, that application process, we will call you within 2-3 weeks. It's the onboarding process, right? So what happens is that the first thing is application process. The second is the interview. What about the third process is the training? Is actually, you're not going to like start working right away. They will train you maybe for a couple of days, maybe for a couple of days or weeks, or maybe for a couple of weeks. We don't know. Same thing or same analogy or same process, it's here. So this student asks for questions like, I'm ready, but he thinks ready, but at the same time, he says like, I'm lost. Meaning if you're lost, then your onboarding process is not there yet. So you have to build an onboarding process. Well, think about it. So I'm a carrier, I have 4 trucks, and then I have this independent freight dispatching services that I offer to independent owners, or I would say owner operators and carriers or small carriers. So think about, if I'm a carrier and I'm willing to work with you, what would be the process? What would be the next step? Like from point A to point B. So what would be this application analogy? Should I fill out your dispatcher carrier agreement? That would be one of the questions you can ask. And the important part is, what do you know about me? So you have to know about me first in order to fill out this carrier dispatcher agreement. Carrier dispatcher agreement is basically says that, we agreed in these terms, we know each other's businesses, we are ready to rock and roll, right? And this is the dispatcher carrier agreement. We're not ready yet. The onboarding process is still missing. Like what should I do? Is there any session calls, or do I have to call, or you will be calling me, like for the interview? Onboarding process is everything. For example, if I say I'm a carrier, I'm willing to work with you right now, what would be the next step? Think about that way. Am I going to send you the carrier packet? Okay, so I will email the carrier package. It's easy. I've been doing this like every day for like at least 100 times. But what about? What will happen? Will you say next week on Monday, I will start dispatching your trucks? Well, I think it's something missing. You don't know anything about my business. So you should ask like how many trucks I have. What are the lanes? Or maybe I'm like regional, maybe I'm local, right? Maybe I'm seasonal. You have to ask questions for that. I recommend what we call is a free strategy session. But usually what happens with the students when I say, okay, what will happen if I'm ready to work with you? The next thing is that what they say, well, I think I will just start dispatching, trucks, your trucks next week. Let's start on Monday. But we are not ready. You have to ask questions to know. Well, think about, do you know like how much I make per month, for example? Have you ever asked me like, what are my goals? Like, what are my plans? In my coaching calls with, my coaching, students, I ask these questions a lot. I'm really want to work with you, Denise. What is next step? Like what is the onboarding process? What would you say if I right now with 4 trucks, I really want to hire you or want to work with you as an independent freight dispatcher? What would be your next step?
Well, probably I will ask some question.
Let's go. Let's do it.
And it's like, to be honest, I'm very excited.
The system that we have, it's not there yet. So it doesn't matter how many customers or carriers are willing to work with you. If that system it's not there, that means maybe I can say that, yes, I'm willing to work with you. The next week I'll be gone because I will sense that it's not an established business. I don't think that you are a dispatcher or it's like experienced dispatcher. So I'll do my best to avoid you. So we need to avoid this at all costs. So you have to position yourself like an expert. Instead of saying, I'll be dispatching your trucks next week, but what you can say is that, okay, let's schedule a call for next week for Monday, for example, could be Tuesday, could be Wednesday. So you can say, let's schedule a call. One of my team members will schedule a call for Monday. What we'll do is that we're not going to dispatch trucks. We're not going to do anything. We're not starting. We're not ready yet. So on Monday, we'll do a strategy call. What this strategy call is that I'll be asking questions, learning more about your business. For example, how many trucks you have. I'll be dissecting your business into pieces to see where you have problems so that I can offer my solutions to your problems. I'm interested. This guy will be helping me. I have a lot of problems, and then this guy will be helping me. You can ask on Monday, for example, you can ask questions like, what would be the cost for, let's say, for this particular truck? What is the cost per mile? I want to know this number. It's really important. So you have 4 trucks. So what would be the total cost per mile to run these trucks? So I need that magic number. What is it? I could say $1.70 is my cost. Everything above, I'm profitable. Now you know approximately $2, let's say, per mile, I'll be safe. Now, the next question would be like, which market? Are you in a drive-in market? Is there like specific loads that we must avoid? For example, I'm avoiding at all cost moving meat, for example, maybe alcohol, or like think about maybe ice cream. I'm talking like specifically refrigerated market, but I'm giving you the examples. There are some customers or carriers will be avoiding like oversized or over-dimensional loads, right? Over height, for example. You have to ask those questions like specific market. If I'm in the flatbed market, now you know I'm in a flatbed market. But what if you have experience in a drive-in market, but I'm like coming in new customer and I'm a flatbed market? Yes, you'll be doing your best to kind of win my business, but think about, if you're not experienced, should you work with me or just say, we'll be working in the future? Better off if you already, you said, I'm doing my marketing, I'm promoting it, but I want to know, are you okay offering your services into different markets? It's really challenging. Think about like drive-in market, different terminologies, different language. It's like flatbed market is totally different. Think about car hauling market. You will be targeting carriers. You will be targeting owner operators, but in which market? Really important. I would highly recommend starting with only one market. For example, if you are good at it, flatbed market, start with flatbed market, then you can expand. The next question you have is, where do I start? Where do I start? In this email that I see right now, you are saying that you already have your company. You're already promoting it. You already have this load board, but you don't know how to communicate with customers, meaning with your carriers. But at the same time, you're saying that, where do I start? I just kind of confused. So where do I start? I have this framework. Let me share the screen. I have this framework that I teach my students. We have this where do I start framework for the students. So this is where your training actually begins. So we'll spend some time, but we will just catch up this on the second one-on-one session. So I really want to, before get there, I saw that you're nervous. I said, I have to do something, kind of warm up, and then start the training, because I see sometimes people are shaking. Yeah, it happens. When they shake, I was like, oh wow, I'm getting nervous too. Like, why you're shaking? Yeah, it happens. And sometimes people are really excited. This is 4-step, as you can see, step number 1, step number 2, step number 3, and then step number 4. This is how I teach my coaching students. They're in the advanced level coaching program. So the step number 1 is always registering your business. Well, you will see in this group, people will be saying, no, you don't need this LLC. You don't have to have a business for this. Well, think about it. We're not talking about employment here, but if you're interested in an employment, you're more than welcome. You just go and work for a carrier. You don't have to have a business for this, right? That will be the training. So if you're looking for like free training and you don't need to start like your company, then go watch my YouTube videos, then you'll be fine. But everything boils down to what? Starting a business and be profitable, generate revenue for your business, right? That's the end goal. And for that, we have to have a business so that we can start generating revenue. So the step number 1 is register your business. This is the framework, right? A lot of you like just learn from this, implement, email me, I can send you a copy. But this is the framework that I teach, and people are successful, like at least my students are successful using these 4-step framework, right? So first step is register your business. It's really important. Choose your business name. And again, see, choosing your business name, it's not just, XY Logistics, XY Trucking Logistics Express something. You can do that, If you're planning to expand into like being a carrier, but you are an independent freight dispatcher, you're offering your services to carriers and owner operators. You think about keywords that we use as carriers when you search online. What I do, I'm looking for the keyword that I use all the time when I'm searching for independent freight dispatchers is independent freight dispatchers. There you go. Like it's not rocket science, right? It's simple. The keyword is everything. Independent freight dispatchers, dispatching services, right? Express dispatching, international dispatching, something like that. This is what I'm looking for. But I'm not looking for logistics and carriers. Why? Logistics in tracking or carriers, it basically means something that related to tracking. That, like, yes, what I'm trying to say is that I might think that you are a carrier, maybe a broker. That's what I'm trying to say. But if you use keywords like independent freight dispatcher or dispatcher services or dispatching services, then I know instantly that this guy or this company offers dispatching services and I need dispatching services, and then I connect with you. This is how, how I search for independent freight dispatchers. That is the first step, right? So the B is applying for EIN. It's employment identification number. It's basically, it's social security number for your company. And why is that? You must separate your personal assets from your business. It's separate entity. And again, I'm simplifying. Maybe I'm using terms that maybe it's funny for you guys, but what I'm trying to do is like simplify so that you can understand. I'm separating myself from this entity. So I'm a person. Yes, I'm running this entity, but I'm separate. Something happens to the business, I'm protected. This is why it's limited liability company. I see comments in this group and in other groups as well that, oh, you don't need LLC, but it's trash. Don't listen. Like 99% those people, they don't have their LLC. That just, you have to do things legally and professionally. You need an LLC, or LLC is one of the structures for a business, but you can do whatever you want, but it's the limited liability company I recommend. But again, full disclaimer, I'm not a CPA or attorney or something. What I'm saying is that this is what I recommend. Of course, you have to consult those professionals. I have a CPA and I consult with my attorneys. Where should I go? Should I do this? Is it legal or illegal, right? So we have to do the same thing. Choose your business structure. As I said, it's LLC or incorporated. Maybe you're in different country. You have to talk to your attorney or local small business attorney to, create your business. It's very important. And of course, draft a contract. Many of you guys who are, students bought my entry-level course on my coaching program. You guys have those 4 documents, right? It's already there. You can use the dispatcher carrier agreement. Is like, it's there for you to protect, right? It's your protection, right? If something happens to a load, something happens with the carrier, you're protected, right? So more, we'll talk in detail. So designing your office, it's crucial, right? Maybe you're starting from your home, maybe you have office already, but designing your office is everything. So it should start somewhere, right? So maybe you're thinking, I can design my office, but no, it's really important. You have to take those things seriously. That should complete the step number one of this 4-step framework. It's really important. If you didn't do any of these, you're not moving. See, this is so powerful, right? I'm saying to my students, and I'm like, if you don't have an EIN number, you're not moving. So you have to have these first. If you don't have like EIN, you're not registering your domain name. No, like you complete check mark and then you move to the next part. Speaking to next part, meaning step number 2 is online presence. Guys, online presence is everything. Register your domain name. For example, we come up with the business name XY Dispatching Services LLC, for example, or we can say, Kamal's Dispatching Services, right? Or we can say Kamal's Express Dispatching. You can add services, or you can add, independent, whatever works for you. When you have that, I highly recommend starting your Facebook page, right? So create your logo, cover photo, and then you have a business name already. You have this, the business up and running business with your structure and everything. Now you can share with the world, hey, here my services. Here I am. You are a carrier, you have a problems, I have a solutions. That's the basic marketing message that you will have. It's really important because you'll be running paid ads using your Facebook page. I use a lot Facebook advertising. It's paid advertising, but we can talk in detail later. But it's everything. You must have Facebook page for your company. Instagram page, again, it's same. It's important. Advertising. And then YouTube channel for those who can, I know some people avoiding like talking to camera, or maybe they have some fear of looking at the camera or something. I don't know, but you have to communicate. Even myself, right? English is my second language. I do my best to express my knowledge and I share with the world that they can leverage. But again, who cares? I'm trying to help people. If they are judging me, it's okay. English is my second language, but what can I do? Just deal with it. Take the camera and share with the world what do you have. If you have something to offer for carriers, they'll be listening. They'll be subscribing to you, right? They'll be following you. I was like, same. I was thinking like, I don't know, like I'll be talking about dispatching. Who cares? We have about like 10,000 followers already who follows me, who subscribe to my channel. Thank you guys. But this is how it happened, right? It's like we started with one subscriber, which is my wife, like total transparency. And then second and third, this is how we grew this channel. It's been like little over a year now. We have about 10,000 subscribers. Think about 10,000 people interested whatever I say. And then of course we grew we're still growing our email list. And then think about the social media, Facebook page. The Facebook group we have, it's about like 3,600 right now. It's like close to 4,000, members. Think about it. It's so powerful. And now we have this community. Now I can share more knowledge with you. See how it works? So whatever I do, I recommend so that you can replicate, right? So I have results. I'm saying that, hey, I have results, replicate that you can have same results. So I have like students that paid me a lot of money. They know that I teach exact same framework I'm teaching you right now. So YouTube channel, it's important so that you can share, start connecting, build an authority, and then grow your subscribers. Sales process. This is where you will spend a lot of time, maybe 2 months, maybe 3 months. Sales process that will require a lot of work, effort, energy, and time, right? Why? Because you'll be creating your offer. For example, think about, maybe you're thinking, I'll be offering like dispatching services. Yes, you'll be offering dispatching services, meaning you'll be just, dispatching, calling brokers, booking loads, and then dispatching these loads. Let me ask you this question. What's the difference between I would say a product or offer? Product could be anything like pen, I don't know, it's like a glasses or a bottle of water. That would be a product. The offer is list of products that you offer, right? Or list of services that you offer, right? And make and package it, and that is one unique product, right? So think about that. Maybe you're offering free consultancy. I don't know, consult like finding numbers, for example. Like we carriers admit, like 99% of the time, people don't know their numbers. Like meaning carriers, we don't know our numbers. Help me finding those numbers. For example, what would be the cost running trucks? I don't know. Let's focus on an offer, right? Create your offer. You can say, I'm offering finding your numbers. Like I'll be offering marketing services. I'll be offering like, I have these programs that can help you, like discounts. Maybe you have partnership with insurance companies, maybe with fuel cards, for example. You creating your offer. That's what I'm trying to say. So the packaging your offer, and then you should have a front end offer and then a back end offer. So we'll talk about, the differences in detail. So the sales copy on your website or in the landing page that you have, it's really important. Then sales funnel. The sales funnel is actually a sales process, but you have to funnel your leads, like prospective customers come into your door, and then something happens, like it's a sales process, they go through the funnel, at the end of the funnel, they become your customers. Then you will have a company website. There's like big difference having your company website and landing page or just a single page for your offer that we'll talk about later. But just company website itself, if you just have like, I recently did a video. It's hour and a half long video, like going into details, explaining these 5 ethical principles of persuasion. So if you're like missing one even, well, your website will, struggle. Like it won't convert well. So the 5 ethical principles is like when I land on your website, I instantly, right away, I need to know, what do you have to offer? That statement should be there. What's your message? Right? Messaging is really important. That means your sales copy on your website. Likable authority is your CEO, your owner of your company. Your face must be there. So I should connect with you, right? If I see your face, I instantly connect. But by the way, these 5 ethical principles of persuasion is not something that I come up. It's a research, right? It's a valuable information that I'm sharing with you guys. And the scarcity. Scarcity is a fear of missing out. If I'm leaving your website, I'm on your website and I'm leaving and I'm about to leave, what would be the fear of missing out thing? What if I don't work with you? What am I missing, right? That should keep me there on your website so that I can share my personal information so that you can follow up later saying, hey, you've been in my website, you just left your email address, I'm just following up with you, how can I help, so to speak. It's just basic, or I would say in a simple way explaining this. Social proof is everything. If you have already serving your customers, your clients, ask them for social proof, meaning reviews. If you don't, like if you're new and you don't have any social proof or no reviews at all, no testimonials, ask in the group, ask me, email me. I would be more than happy to leave a review for your company. Whatever. Maybe if you are one of my students, then I can give you more testimonials saying that, hey, I personally, teach or taught this person how to become an independent freight dispatcher. So you get the idea, right? So think about this. If you didn't complete step number 1, you're not going into step number 2. So now step number 3 is actually load board subscription. I would, suggest starting, yes, DAT Power. You can use this 30-day trial. Maybe you can start with free load boards, right? And you can practice. And if you're one of my, students, you can schedule one-on-one call, and then we will go over the load boards and do more training, right? So you can be comfortable talking to brokers, for example. And then 4th step is actually, this is the last step, but this is really important. This is where like majority of my students and majority of people, even when I was starting, I was struggling with, which is marketing. You can be number 1, world-class dispatcher. You have top business, but if nobody knows about you, basically, who cares? Basically, you don't exist. I have this dispatching skills. I'm offering this and that. If I don't market to the people, I don't exist, right? Basically, like there's no Kamal with this Dispatch Trucks Academy or something. It doesn't exist. Why? Marketing is everything. But marketing is deliver the message to people saying, hey, you're looking for a training? I have a training, I can help, for example. In that marketing, it's strategy is really important. In strategies, and of course, we need some tactics. The strategies we have is a DAT directory where you can log in and, I have a video and I do teach in detail in my coaching program, but you have free video on the YouTube. You can search for DAT directory looking for, customers, and the video should pop up. And then using that DAT directory, looking for, shippers and brokers and carriers from that side, right? So then factoring companies another way, it's a great way of marketing. And then paid traffic is everything. This is how you scale, or I would say at least start your business, start generating some revenue using paid ads, like, Facebook ads, maybe YouTube ads, maybe Google ads or AdWords. Think about free traffic. Think about, you have a social profiles like Facebook profile, Instagram profile. Go into groups, like create your own group, for example, and then target carriers. I highly recommend, the students, I have one-on-one coaching with students and I teach this, and I said, hey, you should create a group, Facebook group for carriers and owner operators. They will be searching, carriers and owner operators will be searching for groups. Yes, they will be searching. In our group right now, it's about like 3,500 people. Think about 45% of those people in group right now, they're carriers and owner operators. You have to create a attract carrier. And so let's wrap up this real quick. And then social media is Facebook groups, and then Instagram profile and a YouTube channel is everything. leverage that. And this is how you start, and this is what I teach my students. These are the frameworks. So think about, maybe you starting like from online presence, maybe you're working on your sales page, maybe you're working on your Instagram, nothing happens, then you found a customer, but it's onboarding, it's not ready, it's not there. This is where you struggle. So you're not skipping any steps. Step number 1, complete. Step number 2, complete. Step number 3, and then so on, right? This is how it works. So if you guys have any questions, let me know. You can email me at kamal@dispatchtrucks.com. Okay, talk to you later, guys. Bye.